Coach Huseman, is there more spring in the Spiders step perhaps after a notable win, or not so much? You just move forward?
Just move forward. Just keep playing. The next game's more important than the last game.
Speaking of the next game, how about some impressions of Hampton? Obviously, this is sort of new territory for the Spiders.
Very well coached in all three phases. Sound defensively. They know what they want to do on offense and do it really well at a high level. And their kicking game is solid. So I've been very impressed with how they play. They play hard. And they've got some good players, too, no question about that.
They're known for their passing game, I guess. And you share your thoughts on what you've seen at that.
Well, I mean, the first impression is that they have good wideouts, and that's probably why they can throw the ball so well. So they've got talented players out there on the edge. They spread you out, try to take their shots deep. So, I mean, it'll be a test for our secondary for sure.
Will your first-team place kicker be available, or is Jake still unavailable?
As of today, unavailable.
Are you? I presume you're a little bit more comfortable with the situation than you were last week, given Lopez's performance.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns going into last week. We actually didn't know what to think, but he kicked well. He's kicked well in practice this week, so got a lot of confidence in him right now.
Is there a number you have in your head in terms of range for him? Because obviously we have no idea. 31 is his range so far for
37 he has.
37.
Come on, don't shortchange him now. 45. He's good. He's got a strong enough leg. I probably wouldn't kick a 50-yarder, but I'd say if we got a 44-yard or something like that, we'll send him out there.
Thank you.
What makes this a trap game?
Just coming off a big win. Anytime you can come off a big win, like a team like Villanova, a ranked team, the next game, no matter who you play, you gotta. You can't enjoy it very long. You have to refocus and put your mind to the next one. If we win this week, Maine will probably be a trap game. If we win that one, New Hampshire will be a trap game. They're all trap games if you don't refocus and put that behind you.
I'm going to use the wrong word here, but how gratifying is it as a coaching staff that your offense was able to take what the defense gave them last week? They really were going to challenge you in the passing game. So you guys had one of the best rushing games we've seen here in a while. That versatility, how will that help you guys moving forward?
Well, we felt like we could run the ball all year long. We've got really good guys up front. We got some size up front. They're good players. They're experienced. So we never once didn't think we could run the ball. But again, it's what they give you. How they give it to you is what we're going to do each and every week.
Do you have an impression of how Hampton likes to play defense primarily? Are they primarily against the run stopping, or because they like to throw it on offense, are they particularly good against the pass on defense?
They're going to try to defend the run. They're not going to. They're going to work really hard not to let us run the football. I think they may be second in the league in rushing defense right now, so they are pretty good. But again, we have to somehow try to be balanced, and take what they give us when they give it to us. But they're stopping the run really well this year.
How has Coach Billy Kosh been this week? Has he let on at all that he's game planning against his dad's defense?
Well, he had the scouting report. Every Sunday, a different coach has the scouting report, and at the beginning of the season, I kind of go down through it, and the coach been on staff longest, he gets to pick his team, whoever he wants, and Billy had been one of the latter guys, and it got to the Hampton game, and I said, Billy, you got Hampton. He didn't pick him. I gave him Hampton.
Notice anything different in him this week? Or?
No, he's just same old Billy Kosh. No different. Still gets after him pretty good, but not any different this week than any other week.
Probably after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he kind of mentioned Christmas dinner may be weird.
Are you,
Either way, for somebody, it's going to be
Yeah.
weird.
I presume you're familiar with his dad, because his dad's been a lot of places for a lot of years. Impressions of him as a defensive guy who's been a defensive guy since 1983?
Yeah, this is really the first time that I really kind of, well, obviously our first year here when he was at Delaware, but, this is really the first time you really get to study them and kind of see what they're doing. He's been extremely successful wherever he's been, no question about that. But, he was by the office a few times, in the spring. He didn't get by here in the summertime, but in the spring, and I got a chance to spend some time with him at that point in time, and just a terrific guy.
Xander, John O'Connor from the Richmond paper. Ryan, John O'Connor from the Richmond paper. Good to meet you. Xander, the defensive theme so far, at least to us, has been improvement. I wonder if you might share your thoughts on in what areas this defense has grown.
Yeah, sure. I think at the start of the year, if you were to rank each defensive position, the D-line definitely was probably toward the bottom, I think, for most people. And I think personally we took that. You don't like to let the outside noise really affect you, but it definitely lit a fire for us, and we took that as a mission to become better. So every week, we just come to work, and I think it's really shown over these past few weeks how we've been able to improve as a unit.
And Ryan, how about coming off that Villanova game where the offensive line was a force, and perhaps that creates some momentum or builds your confidence going into Hampton?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely builds our confidence. I think one thing we want to do is just become more consistent in our rushing game. The first 2 weeks we rushed the ball well, and then we had 2 games where we didn't rush the ball well, and then we got back at it against Villanova. So it's definitely a confidence boost, but we want to become more consistent with how we're rushing it.
Xander, can I ask an academic question, and that is, coming out of high school, Brown, Army, Columbia, Yale. Why here?
I think for the most part, the community really stuck out to me. Obviously a smaller campus, but I felt really close with everyone here, especially the coaches, the coaching staff here. And I think academically this school is one of the better in the country as well. Obviously I have those Ivy Leagues, but the business school here is phenomenal. So for me it was that community, and obviously the academics here as well that really led me to choose Richmond.
And morning practice, how does that strike you in terms of your academic load and when you take classes and when you do homework and things like that?
It definitely makes you up your time management skills. As soon as I got here, you realize how much less time you have for stuff outside of football and outside of school, and you really need to focus on prioritizing school if you want to be successful playing college football anywhere, but specifically here. So time management was definitely a top priority for me to improve, but I think I've gotten it down pretty well while I've been here.
And Ryan, how do you feel about morning practice? How do most guys feel about morning practice? You'd rather get it in, get it out, move on, or you'd rather practice later?
I mean, I think everybody would rather get it over with in the morning, but the only issue with it is it reduces our options for classes and what we can take, because a lot of the classes are obviously in the morning. So it makes that a little tricky, but overall I think it's good to get us up, get going in the morning, and then we can come back in the evening for extra film, meetings, whatever it has to be. Thank you.
How do you guys individually and as a team avoid a letdown with a game like this coming off such a big win last week?
I think we respect all of our opponents. So I know the term trap game was used earlier, but I don't think anybody is really in our facilities are seeing it as a trap game. You know, we're going to respect them. It's Coach Kosh's dad is their DC, obviously, so he's not going to take it easy on us by any means. So I don't think it's a trap game, and I think that Villanova was a big win, so it may seem that way since we haven't played Hampton. But I think if we just go in and perform how we're capable of performing on both sides of the ball, we shouldn't have any issues.
I think also a big thing is no matter what success we've had previously, you know, Villanova, great win, but if we don't continue that success going forward, it really doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. So you got to take each game one at a time, go 1-0 every week, and at the end of the season, if we keep that mindset, we're gonna reap our rewards.
Even though it isn't, does any of this week feel like preparing for a non-conference game because you guys don't have all that much experience playing this team?
Definitely knowing since Hampton's new to the CAA, you know, there's not a lot of film specifically of us going against them in the past, but they proved they can play in the league. You know, they had a huge win last week against Albany. So, like we said before, we can't take them lightly. They're a CAA opponent, and everyone in the CAA is good. So just got to keep that mindset.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think that it necessarily doesn't feel like they're in the CAA, but it is different not having the film and never having played them before. They do some stuff that we haven't seen. So it definitely it feels different, but you know, we know they're in the CAA, so we just focus on that. It's a conference game. We need the win. We have to move on. We have to go 1-0. So.
Ryan, has there been much chatter with Coach Kosh about going up against his dad with you offensive guys, or have you pretty much left that alone?
We don't talk about it. He addressed it, obviously, in the scouting report on Sunday, but besides that, much hasn't been said about it, really. You know it's there, and you know he's thinking about it, but he's very energized all the time. He's a fired-up guy. He brings the juice to practice every day, so you know we don't see much of a difference in him because he's very consistent with how he is at practice every day and around the facility. So, we know it's there, but it's not really talked about, I don't think.
How would you quantify where you guys are now with this offense? I remember at the start of the year, particularly offensive linemen, I know it was hot at Virginia, but came out of that saying, hey, we were winded with the up-tempo and how comfortable you are with tempo and then not going fast, all of that.
Yeah, I think we've all adjusted pretty well. We're better than we were week one, obviously, as we expected to be. But I think it's more fun, honestly, now seeing our opponents trying to keep up with us because we know that we've trained to be in the situation to succeed, but they haven't trained to go against somebody that's playing 91 snaps a game. A lot of those guys haven't seen that kind of workload and the kind of tempo that we run. So we look forward to it. We look forward to going out there and seeing, can this guy keep up with us on the defensive line? And the answer is usually no, and that's a good feeling. So.
Hey, Xander, if you could think back, I know you had a big play Saturday that actually was on the stat sheet. Can you go back to the Lehigh game? The play that sticks out to those of us that were there calling the game, I don't know about your teammates, was the play that you made that actually never counted, was that long run by their running back down the sideline where you caught him, even though that play got negated by a penalty. And can you kind of remember that? And do you feel like it did kind of give everybody a little bit of, hey, this is the way Richmond football needs to play, until the whistle sounds?
Mm-hmm. I think it just goes to what our coaches preach every week is, relentless pursuit to the football. In the moment, it's like, I got to get this guy on the ground. I got to try to catch this guy because if not, he might score a touchdown here. Obviously, it got called back, but in the moment, all I knew is I had to get this guy on the ground. So I think that play, we looked at it film, like coaches like this is what effort looks like. So that was it felt good to me for sure to get that kind of respect from your coaching staff, and everyone was hyped up for me on the sideline, even though at the end of the day it didn't end up counting.
Was there any doubt you were going to catch him?
Not really. Once I got going, I was like, I'm gaining on this guy, and it was fun to watch back because I was giving Tristan a little beef about it because I was running past him on the way to the running back, but